He called me early. He's like, yo, when you spar, I'm gonna come to the gym. I'm like, I'm gonna start at 4 o'clock. I really didn't think he was gonna pull up, but he pulled up. It means everything, his advice and listening to him in the ring. He calling out little shit. I'm trying to make sure I do what he says. So a hell of a blessing to have Bud, Floyd, all these guys backing me, and I appreciate them. I'm just trying to keep pushing and keep getting better and better.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevens.
Crawford Mayweather just dropped a bombshell about Shakur Stevenson that's got the entire boxing world losing their minds. After an intense private training session, the undefeated legend finally broke his silence, and what he revealed is sending shockwaves through every corner of the sport. This wasn't just some casual gym visit or photo opportunity. Mayweather spent serious time studying Stevenson's movement, his ring IQ, his discipline, and walked away saying things that have insiders convinced something massive is brewing. The timing couldn't be more perfect either, because Stevenson is about to face the biggest test of his career against Teofimo Lopez, and now everyone's wondering if Floyd's stamp of approval just changed everything. When a fighter who went 50-0 and made nearly $1 billion starts praising your technical gifts and mental approach, you better believe people are paying attention. But here's the kicker. Mayweather didn't just compliment Stevenson's skills. He hinted that what he witnessed behind closed doors could signal something much bigger for the future of boxing itself. Meanwhile, Stevenson's training camp has been absolutely insane, and I'm talking about a level of preparation that's borderline obsessive. Every single day, this man has been pushing his body and mind to limits most fighters can't even comprehend, all while gearing up for his showdown with Lopez. He's been meticulously adjusting to weight changes, fine-tuning every aspect of his movement, and sparring with absolute killers like Terence Crawford just to simulate the kind of explosive power and relentless pressure he's about to face. Think about that for a second. You don't bring in Crawford for light work. That's the kind of sparring partner you get when you're preparing for war. But it gets even crazier. Stevenson has been skipping holiday celebrations, family gatherings, everything, just to stay locked in on this fight. His strength and conditioning coach says he's never seen a fighter this dedicated to perfecting every tiny detail. The footwork drills, the timing exercises, the mental visualization sessions, it's all designed to counter Lopez's aggressive style and explosive power. When you're willing to sacrifice everything for one fight, that tells you exactly how much this means to his career.
He told me, all right, up, so... Let's fight.
Here's where things get really interesting though, because Kali Malinaji just called out something that nobody else is talking about. According to him, Teofimo Lopez is getting completely disrespected in the lead-up to this fight, and it's all because of the media attention imbalance. Think about it. Stevenson gets all the spotlight, all the hype, all the prime interview slots, while Lopez is sitting there with championship experience and knockout power getting treated like he's some kind of underdog. Malinaji points out that this happens constantly in boxing, where the fighter with the bigger social media following and flashier highlight reels overshadows the guy who actually has the resume. Lopez has beaten Vasily Lomachenko, one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of this generation. He's got legitimate championship experience and the kind of explosive power that can end fights with one shot. But because Stevenson attracts more casual fans and generates more online buzz, suddenly everyone's acting like this fight is a foregone conclusion. And here's the thing that's got Malignaggi fired up. Underestimating a fighter like Lopez based on media narratives instead of actual skills is exactly how upsets happen. The guy who feels disrespected and overlooked. That's usually the most dangerous opponent you can face.
Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. But Teofimo has a way, when you're so damn good and he knows you're so damn good and everybody feels like you're gonna beat him, there's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo.
You know what though? Let me tell you something about raw talent, because that's what this really comes down to. When you strip away all the hype, all the media narratives, all the promotional nonsense, one of these fighters simply has that special gift that separates good from great. I'm talking about that undeniable, impossible to teach natural ability that shows up when the lights are brightest and the pressure is suffocating. Some fighters crumble under that spotlight, but the truly gifted ones, they thrive. They find another gear that nobody knew existed. They pull off combinations and movements that leave even experienced trainers shaking their heads in disbelief. That's the kind of talent we're dealing with here, the type that can't be manufactured in any gym or taught by any coach. It's either there or it isn't. And when you possess that rare combination of physical gifts and mental toughness, when you have that killer instinct that can't be faked, that's when you accomplish things that other fighters can only dream about. The question is, which one of these guys has more of it when everything is on the line?
Yeah. Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, what about Shakur now? Tank this, tank that. Tank fights the guy that delivers my pizza. He fights the guys in the back that are doing the production.
Now let's talk about what Lamont Roach observed about Stevenson's ring control, because this breakdown is absolutely fascinating. We're not just looking at a fast fighter here, we're witnessing a tactical genius who can dictate every aspect of a fight before his opponent even realizes what's happening. Roach explains that Stevenson's footwork isn't just about moving around the ring, it's about positioning himself in spots where he can see punches coming 3 moves ahead while simultaneously setting up his own counters. Think chess, not checkers. Every step backward is calculated to draw his opponent forward into a trap. Every lateral movement is designed to create an angle that didn't exist a second before. This is the kind of ring IQ that usually takes fighters a decade to develop, but Stevenson seems to have been born with it. Against power punchers, this tactical approach becomes even more deadly because it allows him to neutralize their biggest weapons while staying completely safe. He can make explosive fighters like Lopez look slow and predictable by controlling distance and timing. When Lopez loads up for those devastating combinations, Stevenson will already be 3 steps ahead, either completely out of range or positioned perfectly to counter. That level of tactical mastery combined with his physical gifts, that's championship-level boxing at its finest.
Performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You gotta think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to.
But hold up, because Teofimo Lopez is making it crystal clear that nobody, and I mean nobody, is taking his championship belt without going through hell first. This man is talking with the kind of passion and intensity that gives you chills, explaining that this title represents years of sacrifice that most people can't even comprehend. We're talking about missing family events, training through injuries, fighting through adversity that would break most people. Lopez isn't just defending a belt, he's defending his entire identity as a fighter. He's protecting the legacy he built by shocking the world against Lomachenko when everyone counted him out. That fight wasn't just a victory, it was a statement that he belongs among the elite pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Now here comes another young, talented fighter trying to take what he earned through blood, sweat, and pure determination. Lopez sees this as deeply personal, like someone trying to steal years of his life and sacrifice. When a fighter feels that level of emotional investment in a fight, when they're not just competing for money or rankings, but for respect and legacy, that's when they become most dangerous. You can't teach that kind of motivation, and you definitely can't game plan around it.
You guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face-to-face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become.
And speaking of Lopez's preparation, you absolutely have to see this man working the pads with Freddie Roach, because it's like watching a master class in controlled violence. Every single punch is thrown with bad intentions, crisp and precise. But there's this calculated patience behind each combination that shows just how much his game has evolved. Roach, who's worked with legends like Manny Pacquiao, keeps pushing Lopez to maintain that perfect balance between aggression and technique. You can see the years of experience in every drill, every correction, every adjustment they make. This isn't some young fighter just swinging wildly hoping to land something big. This is a championship-level athlete fine-tuning a weapon that's already proven it can destroy elite competition. The footwork, the hand speed, the power transfer from his legs through his core into his punches, it's all there. But what's really impressive is the mental focus you can see in his eyes during these sessions. There's no wasted movement, no showboating, just pure concentration on becoming the most dangerous version of himself possible. When you combine natural talent with that level of professional coaching and unwavering dedication, you get a fighter who can end any fight at any moment.
Can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide.
How close is the fight between the two of you, and when could we kind of expect to see you two face each other?
I'm ready to fight. Honestly, I could fight tomorrow. I've been staying in the gym. I've been really serious about my work ethic, everything. I hear people say this and that, and those are naysayers, I've done very well for myself at just this short period in time. The fight should happen very soon. And as long as the people on that side, the business side of that side, I just like to fight. Yeah. So let's make it happen.
How frustrating is kind of the business side of boxing? Because obviously fighters, as you say, just want to get in the ring, but there's so many hurdles to go over before you get.
Here's what's really got Lopez fired up, though, and this goes way deeper than just this one fight. He genuinely believes that elite fighters deserve elite pay, and he's absolutely right about that. But more importantly, he's arguing that his dynamic fighting style brings something special to the sport that fans desperately want to see. We're not talking about boring, safety-first boxing where guys spend 12 rounds trying not to lose. Lopez brings excitement, creativity, and the kind of unpredictable action that gets casual fans hooked on boxing. He can point to specific moments in his biggest fights where even experienced analysts were surprised by his tactical adjustments and innovative combinations. The man studies the old-school legends, but blends their techniques with modern athleticism in ways that keep evolving. Against Lomachenko, he showed he could outbox a boxer. Against other opponents, he's demonstrated devastating knockout power. That versatility is exactly what the sport needs right now. Fighters who can adapt their style mid-fight and give fans something they've never seen before. For Lopez, beating Stevenson isn't just about keeping his belt. It's about proving he deserves to be in the biggest, most lucrative fights of this entire era. And honestly, his track record suggests he's absolutely right.
Fights falling through, fights not happening. Ryan Garcia, for example. How frustrating is it for someone like you?
You know, there's detours for a reason, right? There's sometimes roadblocks along the path, and sometimes you get upset because you're like, why is it really like this? You know, it should just, you know, but as you start understanding a little bit more or just realizing certain things, it's out of your reach. I can't control it so much, you know? And, you know, this is why I really am trying to make boxing great again, but hopefully with these networks and everyone else in play, we can really start doing.
Now here's where the tactical breakdown gets really interesting, because experts are predicting this fight goes the full 12 rounds, and the early rounds are going to be absolutely crucial. Here's the thing about Stevenson that casual fans might not understand. He doesn't always come out guns blazing in the first few rounds. Instead, he likes to fight off his back foot, study his opponent's tendencies, and gather information before fully committing to his game plan. That patient approach has worked brilliantly against other fighters, but against someone like Lopez who can establish dominance early, it might create problems. If Lopez controls those first 6 rounds, applying constant pressure and landing the cleaner, more impactful shots, it could force Stevenson to abandon his preferred tactical approach and engage in the kind of fight that favors Lopez's power and aggression. Think about it, if you're down on the scorecards against a dangerous puncher, you can't just stick to your original game plan and hope things work out. You have to take risks, which means creating openings for your opponent to land something devastating. The psychological pressure of being behind in a championship fight can make even the most composed fighters make mistakes they normally wouldn't make. That's why these early rounds aren't just about scoring points. They're about dictating the entire flow and strategy of the fight.
I can get to me. Take me. Yeah. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2 hook in. Double hook. So that hook. Right.
But here's a potential problem for Lopez that Bruce Carrington just identified, and it could be the key to this entire fight. Despite all his athletic gifts and devastating power, Lopez has shown vulnerability against opponents who constantly change angles and maintain disciplined spacing. Carrington breaks it down perfectly, explaining that fighters who can move laterally, create awkward angles, and avoid getting trapped against the ropes can give Lopez serious problems. It's not that Lopez can't adjust, it's that his most effective style relies on cutting off the ring and forcing exchanges where his power advantage becomes the deciding factor. Against a fighter like Stevenson, who has some of the best footwork in the entire sport, that becomes much more difficult. Stevenson can potentially make Lopez miss, force him to overcommit to punches, and counter when Lopez is off balance or out of position. The tactical battle for ring control becomes absolutely crucial because whoever dictates the distance and pacing of this fight will have a massive advantage. If Stevenson can keep Lopez at the end of his jab and avoid getting trapped in exchanges, he can potentially outbox him for 12 rounds. But if Lopez can cut off the ring and force Stevenson to engage in close quarters combat, those power shots could end the fight at any moment.
You're talking about, right?
Of course, I'm talking about Shakur.
$4 million.
$4 million.
Ooh, we didn't get into Shakur.
Oh yeah, I want to see like entertainment, and then pay the man for that entertainment.
Well,
You know,
I got that being.
I give it all different kind of traits of skills. I mean, even Andre Ward, someone that's like an analyst, like a perfectionist in boxing, like his IQ is high. He was even the commentator, like he was surprised how I did that jab where it was like a Superman punch to Josh Taylor, a guy that's undisputed and everything, and just made it look so easy. I bring so many things. I even brought a George Foreman combination now because that's everything. Everything is everything. Like I go back in time because that's where my future is at. And so like as far as like retirement and stuff, honestly, man, it's up to the networks. It's really up to the networks.
Tim Bradley just dropped some serious knowledge about what this fight really means for the future of boxing, and his perspective is absolutely spot on. He points out that Devin Haney is currently setting the standard for this incredible new generation of fighters, inspiring young talents to step up and prove who really belongs at the top of the sport. Bradley believes the winner of Stevenson versus Russell should be next in line to face Haney, which would create the kind of momentum and excitement that the sport desperately needs right now. But here's what's really interesting about Bradley's analysis. He's warning commentators and fans that this won't be some wild slugfest with constant action. This is going to be a chess match, a tactical battle that requires deep boxing knowledge to fully appreciate. The casual fans who want non-stop action might get bored, but the real boxing enthusiasts are going to witness a master class in technique, timing, and strategy. Every subtle adjustment, every positional advantage, every mental battle will matter more than flashy knockdowns or dramatic moments. Bradley's basically telling everyone to watch this fight with educated eyes, because the difference between winning and losing might come down to details that only experienced fighters and trainers can truly appreciate. That's what makes elite-level boxing so fascinating. It's not just about who hits harder, it's about who can think faster and execute their game plan more precisely under championship pressure.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to T.O. in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if T.O. can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because T.O. to me is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if T.O. comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting.
Gary Russell offers another brilliant breakdown of Lopez's fighting style, specifically focusing on the version we saw against Lomachenko, and this analysis reveals exactly why Lopez is so dangerous. Russell explains that Lopez excels when he combines aggressive forward pressure with controlled composure, creating this perfect balance that allows him to force opponents into difficult positions without leaving himself vulnerable to counters. Think about how hard that is to achieve. Most aggressive fighters either become reckless in their pursuit of action, or they hold back so much that they lose their effectiveness. Lopez has somehow mastered that delicate balance where he can apply constant pressure, make his opponents uncomfortable, and still maintain enough defensive responsibility to avoid getting caught with something big. Against Lomachenko, arguably one of the most technically gifted fighters of this generation, Lopez used this approach to completely disrupt the Ukrainian's rhythm and timing. He didn't just outpunch Lomachenko, he outthought him by forcing him into exchanges that favored Lopez's physical advantages. If Lopez can bring that same tactical maturity against Stevenson, if he can pressure without being reckless and attack without being predictable, he becomes an incredibly dangerous matchup for anyone in the division. The question is whether he can maintain that level of tactical discipline for 12 full rounds against someone as skilled as Stevenson.
It is what it is. But all jokes aside, though, I feel like T.O. is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, you know, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep T.O. moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, you know, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, you know, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like,
So here's the moment of truth, and I want to hear exactly what you think about this incredible matchup. Are you backing Stevenson's technical mastery, his surgical precision, and that chess match mentality that's made him one of the most promising young fighters in the sport? Or do you believe in Lopez's explosive power, his championship experience, and that relentless pressure that's already proven it can break down elite opposition? This fight represents everything that's exciting about boxing right now. Two young, incredibly talented fighters in their prime, both with legitimate claims to being the best in the division. The winner doesn't just get a belt, they get positioned for the biggest fights and the most lucrative opportunities in the sport. The loser, they're back to rebuilding and proving themselves all over again. That's the kind of stakes that create legendary performances and unforgettable moments. So drop your prediction in the comments below and tell me who you think walks away as the undisputed champion. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really at stake in this fight, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because boxing is about to get absolutely insane over the next few months. I'll see you in the next one.
At it again. Yeah, I think Devin Haney setting the trend. Devin Haney setting the trend. Yeah. Yep, he's setting the trend. Now all these young guys starting to test themselves against each other now. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. We want to see who the best is, yo. And then the winner of this fight right here needs to fight Devin Haney. Why not? Why not? Keep it going. Keep it going. But anyways, look, this is a message, man. Anybody that's going to be working that card, y'all better make sure y'all do y'all damn homework. I'm talking about any commentators, any host, anybody. Do your damn homework, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because this not going to be one of them fights where it's going to be rock'em sock'em, both guys hitting each other and stuff like that. No, it's going to be small, little nuancey type of things that if you don't know what you watching, you can't tell us what the hell is going on. All the fans at home going to be like, what's going on? You know?
Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary, go ahead. Just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now. This fight, your fight coming up, you know, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature.